My name is Kristin Hayes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're going to be making this pretty Christmas card. So let's get started. I've got a piece here of Blushing Bride, and it's cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and I did score it at 4 1/4. I'm off to a great start calling it the wrong dimensions, but here we go. All right, then I've got a piece here of Sweet Sorbet. This is cut at 5 1/4 by 4, and I have another piece here of the Sweetest Christmas DSP, and that's also cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And we're going to start with this piece. So you can see on the background, there's like lines going across it. There's actually a die for this. It's part of the candy cane bundle, and this is in the candy cane dies, but obviously you can use it for whatever you want to create with. So let me just make a space here. And I'm just going to center it. I have it so there's just a small border around the die. So you just want to make sure you're really good and centered. Otherwise, it won't cut right. You just need a border. You can have whatever size border you'd like. I just chose a smaller one today. But you want to make sure you have some border, or the lines, the stripes there, will just kind of flop on you. All right, put this down. So you can see that it just cut those out. And if you wanted to save those, you could use it for another project. I am not going to save them because that would be a lot of gluing down that I just wouldn't have fun with. But I've seen some beautiful projects with it, that of people that did do that. All right, so I'm just going to pop out the last few. There we go. And we're all set. So let's get rid of this. I'll bring that back up in a minute. All right, so then what I wanted to do is I want to put this on here. So what I did is I just took a little of this liquid glue or green glue, whatever you want to call it. I am going to use my silicone mat because I'm a little bit messy. So, whoops, that's a lot. You don't need a lot, just a thin line that was in the corner at least, where there's some more space. All right, here we go. All right, one last, whoops, there's some sparkle there. There we go. I think that's a piece of the Sweet Sorbet ribbon, which we're not using today, but I must have had out for something else recently. All right, and so then I'm not going to go over the thin lines, but these thicker lines, I am going to put a little glue just so it doesn't keep flopping up on me. All right, that's good. And then because the Sweet Sorbet and the Sweetest Christmas DSP are the same size, it just fits on perfectly, hopefully. So you just line it up edge to edge. And if you have something hanging over a little bit, you can always trim that a little bit. There we go. And I'm just going to press it and hold it for a quick minute, not even a minute, just to make sure the glue sticks. And there we go. So these aren't flat, but you don't really notice that once you put the other pieces on. So I'm going to adhere this. I had glue on. I get glue everywhere. I'm going to adhere this to the base. All right. Even using that silicone mat, I still tend to get glue everywhere, but all right. So there's the base for us, and now let's continue with our other pieces. So then I have a piece here. This is Sweet Sorbet, and I used one of the dies from the Painted Labels dies. That's in the annual catalog, but I just like the way it looked. Then I need my Christmas tree die. Now this tree is from the Spruced Up outline dies, and these are really cool dies because not only do they cut out the center, they cut out the outline around it. And I don't know if you could see in my card here, the inside of the tree is a pattern paper, same as our background, and then the outline is just basic white. So I'm going to show you how that works. Now this coordinates with the Spruced Up stamp set, and you do get the dies to cut these trees and this ornament out, and then you can also use them as a standalone. All right, I did get glue everywhere, didn't I? All right, I was trying not to, but all right. So I want my tree to go this way, the opposite way of my other lines. It doesn't have to, it's just the way I wanted it to look. We're going to bring the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine back up. All right. You could really do it any way you wanted on here. I just wanted the lines going the opposite way. Or you can obviously use solid, or you can stamp first, or there's a lot of different possibilities to use with this. All right, so let me bring this over so you can see it, how it cut out. I think it's better if I take this away again. So you can see the tree just popped right out, and then I have the outline of the tree. It cuts it at the same exact time. So I already went ahead and did that in basic white as well. So I have a basic white outline, and I'll just use the tree in this outline for another project. Or more likely they'll fly around my craft area until I get sick of it, and then I'll recycle it. But all right. So let's start putting the rest of our card together. Here's our base. I'm going to pop this piece up on some dimensionals. Let's see. I think 3 will do it. Oh, we didn't stamp our sentiment yet either. I'll put this on and we'll stamp our sentiment. All right, so I'm just going to put it about right there. And then the sentiment we're using is actually the Joy from the Brightest Glow. And this has coordinating dies as well. I just like the pretty Joy. I've been using this set quite a bit because it's just a great all-around Christmas set. So I have a piece of basic white at 1.5 by 1, and I'm going to use my Sweet Sorbet ink pad. And let's see if I can get this lined up on my first try. The stamp is on a little funny on my block. All right. Yep, pretty good. All right. So then our next step on here is I'm going to adhere the base of the tree. I found this easier to do than doing the outline first. Maybe you find it easier the opposite way. I'm not sure. That's up a little high. There we go. All right, so then I'm going to tuck the Joy in next. I'm just going to put a little adhesive on that side of it and then a dimensional on the other, just because I wanted to tuck it under the tree just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. I don't want to cover that Y when I put the outline on. All right, there we go. So now with this outline, I'm just going to use my fine tip glue pen. I'm just going to hold it instead of getting out the silicone mat, but you could easily, and then use the mat again. So I'm just applying a thin layer here of the fine tip glue. I think I've got a little too much on there. It's going to get a little gloppy, but we shall see. All right, I've got it all over my hands. Should have used the mat. All right, I'm going to line it up here with the top of the tree, and then the rest should just fall into place right around it, as long as you don't have it crooked here like I do. There we go. I'm just going to hold that for a minute while the glue adheres to the cardstock. There we go. And I did get it a little gloppy, but I'll take that off once it dries with an adhesive remover. All right, I just want to close this. There we go. So then what I did is I cut out some of these presents. Now this is from the Spruced Up stamp set that we used that coordinates with the tree and the dies. That one doesn't want to come over. Well, we'll leave that one for a minute because we are going to adhere the Blushing Bride. I did 2 in Blushing Bride, and then I stamped 1 in the Sweet Sorbet. And I'm just using glue dots because I didn't want it completely flat, but I didn't want it too puffed up because I'm going to pop up the Sweet Sorbet one so that sticks out a little more. All right. There we go. We'll do this one down here a little bit. And then I just need, there we go. I got the Sweet Sorbet finally. It did not want to come off my table. I just stamped these ahead just to save on time for you. All right. And then we'll pop that one there. And then the last little piece is a piece of Blushing Bride, and I just did a little star, and this is from the same stamp set, the same dies rather, the Spruced Up outline dies. All right, so I'm just gonna center it on my glue dot and then put it at the top of my tree. There we go. And then to add a little bling, I did the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. I just took a little one here. Oops, I got it stuck to my paper. We'll take another one. And then I just put it in the center of the star. And that's all there is to it. So there you go. Here's the one we made. And here is our original. And thank you so much for your time and watching. If you have any questions, all my links will be listed down below. Thanks so much.